Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to start with Unit 7, Human Nutrition from Cambridge IGCSE, and the paper code is 0610. So let's begin this chapter. In Unit first, we have discussed some of the very important, characteristics of living organisms. So one of the very important characteristic of all living organisms is nutrition. Okay. This is because every living organism requires food for their survival. Okay. Everybody requires nutrients for their survival. So in the process of nutrition, actually a living organism take in materials from the environment. Okay. And what are these materials? These materials are actually nutrients. Okay. So living organisms, they take in materials from the environment and use them to release energy for growth and development. So why nutrition is important? Because in the process of nutrition, a living organism, they take in materials from the environment and utilize these materials, that is nutrients, for releasing energy, to get energy, and then finally growth and development of the body. Now in the process of nutrition, living organisms, they obtain nutrients. Okay, they obtain nutrients. Now you know that these nutrients, as you have studied earlier in unit biomolecules, the total number of nutrients which are present in living organisms food are actually 5. Okay, so there are 5 very important nutrients. They are carbohydrates. Okay, you know this already. They are carbohydrates. Then they are fats and proteins. Okay, carbohydrates, fats and proteins. And the another 2 nutrients are minerals and vitamins. Fine. So out of these 5 very important nutrients which are present in the food of all living organism, 3 nutrients, that is carbohydrates, fats and proteins, are known as macronutrients. Okay, macronutrients. Now as the name suggests, the meaning of term macro is something which is present in larger amount, or something which is required by the body of living organism in larger amount. Okay, and other 2, that is minerals and vitamins, they are present in our food, or they are required by living organisms in a little smaller quantity. That's why they are known as micronutrients. Okay, so the nutrients which are present in the food of living organisms, they are actually categorized into 2 parts: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are the one which are required in larger amount by a body, and they are carbohydrates, fats and proteins. And micronutrients are the one which are required in smaller amount by a body. Okay, and they are minerals and vitamins. Another important thing which you have to remember is these macronutrients, okay, after they are consumed by living organism and it goes inside the body of living organism. So these macronutrients, that is carbohydrates, fats and proteins, before being used up by the cells, they require digestion. Okay, so our body has to first digest these carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and then only they will be utilized by our body. But these minerals and vitamins, they do not require any kind of digestion. They can be directly absorbed in the body of living organism. Okay, when we eat any food, especially fruits and vegetables, so in them a lot of minerals and vitamins are present. So once you consume these food and vegetables, what happens is these minerals and vitamins are directly absorbed in the body. These minerals and vitamins are directly absorbed into the bloodstream of the body from small intestine. In detail about this, we will learn further in this unit. So in this video, let's begin with the discussion of these nutrients. So the first macronutrient is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is important for our body because carbohydrates are energy giving food. Okay, that means they provide energy to the cells, or they provide energy to a body for various metabolic processes. Now you might have studied this in your lower classes, that in our body actually energy is stored in the form of ATP. Now the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, now in the process of respiration, where carbohydrate, that is glucose, is involved, energy is released, and this energy is stored in the cells in the form of ATP molecules. Now whenever any metabolic process takes place in the body, energy is utilized from these ATP molecules. So in grade 7th, you have already studied about respiration, and you know that in the process of respiration, energy is released. And what is the substrate molecule used in the process of respiration? That is glucose. And glucose is actually a simple carbohydrate, a monosaccharide. Okay, this you have studied in unit 4 biomolecules. So glucose is a very simplest carbohydrate that is monosaccharide. Okay. And the sources of these carbohydrates are like bread, cereals. Cereals include your your wheat, rice, millet, and all. Okay. And then you have this pasta, rice, potatoes, apples, beans, then corn, melons, etc. Okay. So these are all your sources of food which are rich in carbohydrates. Okay. So it's given in the picture here, like, you have oats, you have these bread, pasta. Okay. Then you have these cereals like pulses, and you have, this is your oats. Okay. Then you have potato, bananas, kidney beans. Okay. These are different types of pulses. So all these are actually rich in carbohydrates. And remember, the function of carbohydrate is it provides energy to the body for various metabolic processes in the process of respiration. Okay. Next macronutrient is proteins. So proteins are known as bodybuilding food. Okay, this is very important. Proteins are known as bodybuilding food. Now, why protein is known as bodybuilding food? Because it helps in growth and development of the body of any living organism. When we talk about cell, okay, a cell is actually having simple cell membrane. Okay, cell is having a cell membrane. And when we talk about the structure of cell membrane, so cell membrane is made up of proteins and fat molecules, that is lipids. Okay, lipids and proteins. So proteins are involved in the formation of cell membrane, and we know that every living organism is made up of cells. So whenever in a body a new cell forms, okay, a pre-existing cell divides and leads to the formation of new cell. So these new cells will also have their cell membrane. Okay, so the formation of these two new cell membrane requires large amount of protein. Okay, so proteins are required for proper growth and development of the body. Okay, then it helps in tissue repair. Okay, this is very important. Proteins, they help in tissue repair. Okay, tissue repair is very important. Tissue repair, the meaning is, for example, if you got if you got hurt, you fell down and you got hurt on any part of your body. Okay, if you have injury on any part of the body, and some of your skin cells will die. For example, if you got a simple small cut on your finger, and some of these cells here on the finger are actually will be now dead. Now these dead cells are supposed to be replaced by the new cells. How this will happen? This will happen with the help of proteins. Okay, this will happen because the pre-existing cells, the area where the cut was there, around that area already some cells are there which exist. Okay, so these pre-existing cells will divide now, and they will form the new cells. Okay, they will form the new cells. Understood? So the formation of these new cells from pre-existing cells require protein. Then formation of cell membrane, and in your body you have already studied in lower classes that you have enzymes. Okay, you have hormones. So these hormones, enzymes, etc. are made up of proteins. Even the antibodies are very important in our body because they fight against microorganisms. They fight against pathogens in the blood. Okay, so these antibodies are also made up of proteins. And when we talk about plants, so in case of plants, this chlorophyll molecule, okay, that is a type of protein. In our body, that is human beings, or you can say animals' body, we have red color pigment called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin makes the blood red. Apart from this, hemoglobin actually helps in transporting of oxygen from lungs to different parts of the body. Okay, it combines with oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin. So this hemoglobin is also a protein. There is a blood clotting protein in our blood. Okay, that means the protein which actually helps in clotting of blood in our body. Okay, so this protein is also present in the blood, and that is called fibrinogen. So hemoglobin, fibrinogen, hormones, enzymes, antibodies, all these are actually made up of proteins, and they are very important, very vital for the survival of living organisms. Okay, so hence proteins are bodybuilding food. Now the sources of proteins are milk, yogurt, egg white, fish, seafoods. Okay, then we have meat, nuts, etc. So all your nuts, that is like almonds, cashews, etc., they are rich in protein. Then we have these soya seeds. Okay, soya seeds are very rich in protein. Milk, yogurt, fine, and eggs. Okay, So these are the rich sources of proteins. Next nutrient is fats. So fats, they provides energy to the body. This is actually a stored form of energy in our body. Whenever we consume fat, okay, so the amount of fat required by our body is used up and the excess of fat is actually stored in the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a tissue which is present just below the skin in our body. Okay, so this adipose tissue actually stores extra fat which we consume in our diet. Okay, now this fat is actually known as stored form of energy. Okay, what happens is whenever a person is on fasting, okay, so whenever a person is on fasting, so our body actually consumes this fat which is stored in our adipose tissues. Fine. So these fat will first break down and will change into glucose, and this glucose will then be used in respiration process in order to release energy. Okay. Now these fats, they provide energy, or they provides insulation to the body heat. I've told you that we have the skin, which is an organ. So just below skin, for example, this is my hand. So just below the skin in my hand, I have adipose tissues. Okay, and in this adipose tissues, fats are stored. Now what happens is the fat which is present in the adipose tissues under skin, this fat actually prevents the body heat, prevents my body heat from escaping out. That means it provides insulation to the body heat. Now you know that internal body temperature in living organisms is 37 degrees Celsius, and this internal body temperature is supposed to be maintained. The reason is because the optimum temperature for working of all these enzymes in a body is 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. So if temperature goes below 37 degrees Celsius, what will happen? The enzymes will not function. Okay, and many metabolic reactions will stop in our body. About this you have already studied in detail in unit 5, enzymes. Okay, so remember that these fat is very important because they are the stored form of energy. They provide our body with energy. Okay, fats actually provide more energy than carbohydrates. Okay, and next they provide insulation to the body heat, and finally it helps in formation of cell membrane. Okay, this we have discussed previously, that cell membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. Lipids are nothing but fats. Okay, so fats are involved even in formation of cell membrane. Sources of fat as milk, then red meat, butter, ice cream, oil, lard. Okay, lard is actually a type of fat. Then peanut, butter, avocado, etc. Okay, so these are the sources of good fat. Okay, good fat. See here, it's here they have even in picture it's shown pumpkin seeds. Okay, so these are good sources of fat. Egg yolk. Okay. Next, let us discuss about vitamins. Vitamins are actually of different types, like vitamin A. Okay, then we have vitamin B, vitamin C, D, K, and E. So as per your IGCSE syllabus, you should only learn about vitamin C and vitamin D. Okay, so vitamin C, the function is it actually helps in making a very important protein called collagen protein. Okay, now your skin, your hair, your nails in the body, even your gums and bones, they have a very important protein which is called collagen protein. So formation of this protein always requires the presence of vitamin C. Okay, so vitamin C is important for us because it helps in the formation of collagen protein, which makes up our skin, hair, even your gums. Okay, gums in your mouth plus your bones, they are all made up of collagen protein. Okay, another important function of vitamin C is it supports body's immune system. Okay, so body's immune system. Okay, that means vitamin C, it provides immunity to our body. Recently this pandemic was going on because of COVID-19, and you might have heard various doctors talking about intake of vitamin C. Many doctors have said that consume more and more amount of vitamin C, like citrus fruits, that is oranges, mosambis and all, because these citrus fruits or these this vitamin C actually provides immunity to our body. The sources are very good sources of vitamin C are citrus fruits, then strawberries, blackcurrant, broccoli, green vegetables, etc. These vitamins and minerals mostly you will get only from fruits and vegetables. The deficiency of vitamin C actually causes scurvy in our gums. Okay, so deficiency of vitamin C causes scurvy, and scurvy is nothing but bleeding gums. Okay, now you can see here in the picture the person's mouth, teeth are there, and below teeth these gums are there. So these gums have actually have started bleeding. Okay, so this bleeding of gums is actually known as scurvy. And in severe cases, if this scurvy is not treated or not controlled, so symptoms include weakness, anemia, and even loosening of teeth. Okay, so because of scurvy, as these gums are bleeding, so blood is lost. As blood is lost, so the skin of the person turns pale in color. Okay, and then the person is having weakness, person is even having anemia. Okay, person even loses his or her teeth if care has not been taken. Next is vitamin D. Vitamin D helps our body to absorb calcium. Hence, vitamin D is required for healthy bone and teeth. Okay, whatever amount of calcium we take in our body, if you don't have vitamin D, so this calcium will not be absorbed by your body through small intestine. This calcium will just be, like released outside. It will be just ingested outside in undigested food. So remember, vitamin D is important because vitamin D helps our body in absorbing calcium from the food which we eat. Okay. And as calcium is important for teeth and bones, hence vitamin D is also required for healthy bones and teeth. And the sources of this vitamin D is fish, okay, then liver, made naturally by skin in the presence of sunlight, then egg yolk, milk, etc. Okay, so this is fish. Okay, you have these mushrooms. Mushrooms are also good sources of vitamin D. You have egg. Okay, these are the meat. Fine. This is cheese. Cheese and butter is also rich in vitamin D. These are pea. Okay, milk, etc. Next mineral is calcium. I have finished discussion on vitamins. You have to only focus on vitamin C and vitamin D. Now next mineral is calcium. Okay, so minerals are important because they have several important functions in the body. The most important mineral is calcium. Calcium is needed for strong teeth and bones. Okay, so why calcium is important? Because calcium is needed for strong teeth and bones. And another very important function of calcium is it helps in clotting of blood. The meaning of word clotting is, for example, if you got hurt or if you got injury on any part of your body, so what happens is we get bleeding. Okay, the bleeding starts, blood oozes out. Now this oozing out of blood for longer time is not good for our body. So in order to stop this oozing out of blood, or in order to stop this blood from oozing out, the blood is supposed to be clotted. Okay, clotting of blood has to happen. Okay, so apart from fibrinogen or apart from fibrin protein, calcium, mineral and vitamin K is very important for the process of clotting of blood. Okay, so calcium mineral is involved in two places. First, it is very important for strong teeth and bones, and next it is very important for clotting of blood. Sources: milk, cheese, yogurt, sardine. So sardines are actually a type of fish. Okay, sardine is actually a type of fish. Then dark green leafy vegetables, orange juice, etc. Okay, so here in the picture you can see nuts are there. There is almonds. Okay, then we have here walnuts, citrus fruit. These are soya seeds. So soya seeds are also rich in calcium. We have broccoli, yogurt. Okay, then we have eggs, milk. Then here we have cheese. Okay, here we have again these a type of pulses. Okay, this is butter. So all these, like butter, cheese, any milk product, dairy product is rich in calcium. And sardine, that is, it's a fish. Okay, this is sardine. So sardine is a type of fish. And all dark green leafy vegetables, they are rich in calcium. Next mineral which we are going to discuss in this video is iron. You have already studied about this iron in lower classes. Iron is needed to make hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a very important blood protein present in all living organisms. Okay, the blood of animals, okay, that is red in color because it has red pigment in it, and that pigment is known as hemoglobin. But apart from giving red color to the blood, hemoglobin has a very important function, a very important role in the body. Whenever we breathe in air, so oxygen is present in the air. Now this oxygen has to be, distributed to various cells in the body. It has to reach to various cells in the body, and hemoglobin actually helps in transportation of oxygen from lungs to different parts of the body. Okay, this hemoglobin combines with oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin, and hence it gives us and hence it helps in transport of oxygen from lungs to different parts of the body. And you are aware that oxygen is important because oxygen is required for the process of respiration in different cells. Okay, respiration takes place in mitochondria. So iron is needed to make hemoglobin, that is a red color pigment in the blood, and hemoglobin helps in transport of oxygen from lungs to different parts of the body. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Now the sources of iron are red meat, liver, green leafy vegetables, soya beans, fig, almonds, etc. Okay, so these green leafy vegetables, that is spinach and all, okay, your potatoes, then you have these pulses. Okay, here you can see pulses, soya seeds, your pistachios. Okay, then you have your beetroot, mushroom. Okay, green leafy vegetables, almonds. Okay, these are nuts, fig, almonds, then dark chocolate. So these are all rich in iron. Okay, hence iron is a very important mineral for living organisms as it helps in the formation of hemoglobin. In this video only this much. In next video we will continue with this human diet. Take care till then. Bye bye.